What's going on YouTube? This is JabberTech, and inside this box is one of the best rear view mirror dash cams that I've come across personally. It has a large 12-inch LCD IPS screen. You also get GPS, you also get a 32GB card included. This is a Wolfbox G840. Well, let's go ahead and unbox it, check it out together, and I'm going to show you what it's all about. This dash cam comes with everything that you need. You do get a GPS module, and that's something that I've always stated. In 2019, every dash cam should have a GPS module, and thankfully, they give us the GPS module with this. And then you also get a 32GB card to get you started. And just look at this beautiful, large 12-inch LCD screen. So if we take a look at the actual dash cam, and I'll turn it on in a second, but just look at this large 12-inch LCD panel. I think this is a beautiful way if you have a smaller rear view mirror like I do in my car. This not only enhances that, but it also gives you the rear view dash cam with the front and rear sensors. Just a few specs on the included accessories. The rear wire for that camera is a 20-foot wire, but if you do need an extension, they do sell it on Amazon. I'll leave that link down below. And then for the cigarette lighter, you get about 11 foot for the cigarette lighter. I already have the hardwire kit, which I highly recommend. I'll also leave that in my link description down below. And then again, this is your rear camera that you can either adhere with 3M sticker tape, or you also have this nice mounting plate that kind of goes behind your license plate if you wanted to do it that way. And again, this metal housing is something that I have never seen, and that just means quality in my book. It's something that feels a little bit more premium than, say, the plastic rear view cameras that we've come accustomed to. So now, just to go over the actual camera, just to show you what it's all about, you do get this nice kind of carbon fiber looking design on the back. Your camera here can rotate a little bit so you can get that perfect fit, that perfect view that you want to get for your car. Not every car is the exact same height. And then you have these little rubber bands here that attach to your rear view mirror. Now, if this does rattle, some people have claimed that this rattles a little bit. If that happens to you, just kind of put maybe a cloth or get some more adhesive strips and just kind of put 2 strips on this, stick it onto your rear view mirror, and then stick this on, and then it'll stop that rattling. You do have a little reset button here if things go awry and you need to do that. On the bottom, this is where you turn it on or off. Now, when you do start your car, it will turn on the dash cam automatically, but if you want to turn it off, just press that button, but it still will record. That just turns off the screen. On the top here, this is where you plug in your GPS. You have your micro SD card. And as you can tell, the speaker is quite loud. You have your micro SD card right over here. Your AV in, that's for your rear camera in the back. And then of course your USB is to power it up. Just to give you guys a couple specs here, you do have a Sony IMX335 sensor, and then you have front recording at 1296p, so that's a little bit more than full HD. That will only record at that resolution if you only have the front. If you do have the rear camera, it's a split 1080 and 1080, which still is a very nice quality video. I'm going to show you that as we go over some footage. Lastly, you do have a really nice 12-inch touch panel screen on the front, and that's why I really like this camera. And you really can see in the back. Now, if you do look at this a certain way in the light, you can see the video feed, and you can also see what's going on in the rear if you want to do that, if you don't have that rear camera hooked up. Other than that, guys, you do have a super capacitor in here, which means that you can operate this thing from -4 degrees Fahrenheit to about 160 degrees Fahrenheit. So leaving this in your window, if you're in a super cold or super hot climate, should really not be an issue. One thing that I have noticed that does not really work too well is the lane departure warning system. That's the LDWS. This camera has it, but for some reason it was a little bit wonky for me. When I was in the city, it actually worked a little bit better than when I was on the highway. But again, that's something that I have to knock a star down for this camera. So if you do want to get this, if the main reason for getting this is the lane departure warning system that's built into this camera, I would recommend that you look elsewhere. But again, maybe a little software update will fix it. And that beeping is basically telling me that I do have some sort of lane change going on right now. And that's not really the case. I want to mention one other thing other than the lane departure warning system. If you have the rear camera hooked up, you can get some guidelines to help you when you're parking your car. But in order to do that, you do have to plug into your reverse lights in your car and hook up the red wire. Now, I know a lot of us do not do that, and I haven't done that just yet. I plan to do that in a little while, but you can use the rear view camera without splicing into those lights. But if you want to get the guidelines for when you're parking your car, you do have to splice in. And I'll just do a quick little update video, or I'll kind of put something on Instagram or Facebook when I go ahead and take my car apart and hook this up. But a lot of people do not do that. You can just plug this wire in and get that rear feed. So that's one thing to note. Those are really the two things I wanted to mention: the lane departure warning system and also the guidelines for your car. Now let's get into some of the settings, and a lot of these settings are pretty much the same that you'd see on any dash cam, but I still want to go over it for you. This is the main screen that you get, and you do have your time, your date, and it says JATO Smart right over there. When you have GPS set up on the left side of the screen, you will get your speed and you will get your compass reading, so it'll let you know if you're going north, south, east, west, etc., as well as your speed, and then it'll show you sort of your lanes for your car. But again, the LDWS didn't really work all that well. Looking at the buttons on the bottom, this is your settings button. If you want to review all of the files on your current dash cam, you can do so directly from it. This does not have Wi-Fi, so you will just have to click play and check out all your files if you want to. And if you see something that you want to keep, all you have to do is press on that lock file and it'll keep it locked for you. What's really cool too, guys, you can see your GPS heading right on the bottom here. You see the date, the time. You also get to see your miles per hour right over there. Now, if you don't want to keep this file, all you have to do is press the delete button right from the actual camera. So that's definitely a plus. Going back, let's show you some more of options here. If you want to take a snapshot, all you have to do is press the little camera button just like that. And then the lock button over here. If you're driving and you want to save your current file, just hit that lock button and it's going to save it, ensuring that you don't rewrite over it. Going into your settings here, you can see you have your resolution mode. So you have the 1096 if it's just the front camera, 1080p if it's front and rear, and 720 if you want to save some space on your SD card. You can record at a lower resolution. Movie clip time, that's where you can change the loop recording from 1 all the way up to 3 minutes. Sound recording is just what it sounds like. If you want audio to be recorded, you can enable that or disable it. LDWS, that didn't really work for me, but let me know down in the comments below if you've purchased this, and if it works for you, I'd be really curious to find out. Power off mode is basically your screensaver mode, and it'll turn off either in 1 minute or 3 minutes. I usually leave it on 3 minutes. This is where you change your clock settings. Now if we take a look at language, you got quite a number of different languages here. Taking a look at screensaver mode, if you don't want to have screensaver mode, turn it off. But screensaver mode can either turn off your screen and just give you this mirror to look at what's going on. You can also just reduce the brightness, and that's what I like to see as well. So if you do have your video feed on, it'll just sort of dim it and you can still see behind you and see the video feed. Another favorite of mine is the time screensaver mode, and that'll just give you the time on the right side and give you your speed and direction on the left bottom. That I think looks really good because your screen is off, but you still get to see your heading, your speed, and the time right over there. Protect level is basically if you do get hit or something happens, you want to let the camera know that it should save those files. So I usually leave mine on low. You don't want it to be too jarring where if you short stop, it's going to automatically start recording. Just play around with those settings and see what works for you. Same goes for parking monitor. I usually leave mine on low because a lot of times you do get some false positives. If there's a lot of wind and your car starts shaking, you don't want the camera to start turning on and record over all of your data. But again, just go ahead and play with this and see which setting works the best for you. Volume. Volume, as you can tell, the speakers get quite loud, but you can go ahead and change that if you want to. Then, of course, you can reset, format your SD card, and the rear view mirror camera, if you want to kind of switch it around, all you have to do is press that button, and it'll go ahead and switch it around for you. So that's basically all the settings. Now, again, I just want to tell you before we get into the video that I actually really like this dash camera. I like the size, I like the actual quality, the film of the mirror itself. You can see everything behind you, and it also, when you're driving at night, it also kind of blocks out those high beams from other drivers. This does a really good job of sort of dimming those lights from behind you, and the build quality I think is really, really nice. Now again, at $150 with some sort of coupon going on, check my link down below. I don't think you can go wrong with this dash camera. The quality is really good. This is what the camera looks like when it's all set up, and of course if you can hide those wires, it makes it look so much better. Pressing on that selector button to switch between the front and the rear, you can either see the front view, you can see the rear view, or you can do a split view, which I quite like personally. And then when the camera goes to sleep, you can see your heading, you can also see your speed, and then you get the time on the top right there. So for me, that's an overall win, but let me know what you guys think. Let's go ahead and watch the video. Let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know in the comments. I always like to know what you think, but for me, if you're looking for an awesome mirror rear view dash camera, this is the one to get because of its size, because of the image quality, because it has GPS. It's pretty much a one-stop package. But thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.